Happy New Year, you guys. Great message for this new year. Marcia. Let's wrap up that intro. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. Happy New Year. I told you I would be back. I told you last time I will see you next year. And here we are. It's a new year, and I told you I would be back. Now, we're looking at the last little bit of what was today. Happy Old Year. And think about all the things that you survived this year and all that you've overcome this year. This has been a rough year for everybody. Okay, so you guys have been overcoming quite well this entire year of 2024. So we got a new year ahead, so let's just get into the show. First off, I'd like to thank all of you for taking a moment of your precious time to be a part of this precious family. A lot of us don't have somebody to be with on New Year's, so I provide this show so that where I'm at, my family may be here with me. Okay, so I know it's late at night. I'm not surprised some of you are up this late because of New Year's, but I'm surprised some of you are here and not at the bar getting drunk or doing something fun. But I guess you consider this fun. So here we go. Happy New Year. And I got a great message for everybody. Let's do the show first here. Okay, so let's get this ball rolling. 12/23 or 12/31/24, the last day of 24. Every date this entire year had the number 24 in it. Whether it was the first day of the year, every single day had the number 24 in the date. Well, not this year. Every day is going to have the number 25 in it now. Surprised we made it this far, really. So let's just take a little peek at what's going on here, and then we'll go through this frame by frame with those with eyes that see. You can see our little dark patch surrounded by plasma coming out right there. And then we're going to pause on our opening frame. Whoops, should have just gotten it there, but let that loop flip around, and we'll catch the opening frame. And when you really think about it, if you really know about the spiritual report at the end here, this is probably the best place to be on New Year's. For those who know. Okay, anyways, not trying to toot my own horn. I'm saying you guys are in a good spot. All right, you know our Spire region right here. You see this activity coming out of it. Our main event's going to come out of this region, this Spire region right there. They act like little compass needles. They're magnetic. You know, these magnetic fields are drawing plasma off the sun. So they're streaking out like a compass needle pointing at the inbound magnetic field or activity. See little moons and little things shooting off to the side there. And let's keep going here. You guys are troopers. We're just marching through this. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, more activity out of that spire region, more little moons. Look how perfectly round this one is, okay? It's not like reflecting light over here because these objects don't reflect light. But here it hasn't drawn out a CME. It's more captured in the solar wind. Look at this spread coming out, changing direction, going out that way and coming down around here. So something bigger in the background here. I don't think we'll get to see it maybe, but you can see the flow, that there was something bigger, medium-sized object, and that was a moon or a satellite trailing it. Let me just slide a tad bit more so I can get a little more of that button. Okay, then here's our event coming out of this region. Right about there is good, I guess. We'll zoom in on this part right up there. Okay, right where the blue line is, right here is your round black object right here. There's plasma out in front of it, draping around the sides, coming back here. When we come over here to this side, you can see here's your round dark area. Let me kind of, I don't want to lose the lines, so we'll darken it like that. Okay, you can see in here that there's a darker patch right here, and then look at the shadow. Look at the flow of the shadow. Let me use this pointer. Here we have our round darker object right in here, and then look at this flow, the shadow of flow going this way. So our object right here, plasma draping off, being pulled away from the sun, surrounded by plasma out in front. Let me see if we can squeeze both. Whoops, come back here. Squeeze both of those images in the same frame there, okay? Scroll up just a tad. There we go. All right, so you can see your darker area right here. And why is this region darker when all this plasma is coming out? Well, it's because this thing's absorbing light. It leaves a little dark patch. All right, so there is your little moon satellite event for the moment. Let me brighten this back up and continue on. Forward march. Left, right, left. All right, here we go. You can see it's well defined, moving on out of frame. And then that was about all your excitement right there for today. Okay, get that loop playing one more time. So there's your, whoops, slide down just a little bit better for you guys. There we go. So there's your loop playing for the last day of 2024. All right, little moons, little activity going on, little spits and sputters, little medium-sized objects sneaking through, kind of further out in the frame, so it's not really distinguishable, but you can tell by flow asymmetries right there with that little arc bending right there that there was something back in there. Okay, now let's come on over to the solar ham and check out our solar flux indice is at 218. It's dropping. It's down 6 more points. We're at the lower end of the red warning type label on that. Let's see if we can get some of the white out of there. All right, so 218 down 6 points. You know, we can come down some more and get out of the red. Meanwhile, sunspot number count is out of the red. We're down to 162. We dropped another 21 sunspots. So some of those moons and medium-sized objects or whatever creating sunspots. Now that activity is finished, now we're declining in sunspots. Your area in the green, so that's all good. This, you can barely see anything on it. Now, a little bit of solar flux. What is going on here? How fluxed are we? X-ray flux goes, a solar X-ray flux, that is. All right, get a few little wavy lines out there. All right, as you can see, there's your bumpy little day right there, and then this little hump right there at the end. Okay, that wasn't very distinguishable on the satellite, but we just a little M flare right there. And then this little activity declining going into tomorrow. I know you guys don't want to see the first little bit of the next year, but we're going to do it anyway. tough. We're going to do it anyway. My kids hate it when I say that. They're like, no, don't make us dead. All right, so your spire region right here, you see still crackling and popping off. Something comes shooting out of there. It almost looks like a, there's something going. A little disc type shape structure right there at the end, if we can capture that. I want to pause right there. Okay, see where this line's going across right here? This disc shape right here comes squirting out. It looks more like a UFO kind of interacting with the field there. If we can capture this just a tad bit better, Lord, please. Okay, so it comes squirting out of this region right here. And note it doesn't really make, whoops, forward march. Much of a CME. It jumps out in front of the CME. And then the blast kind of catches up to it. You're welcome to come over to this thing and play with it all you want and look at each different frame. If you got a laptop and you can tilt the frame and go into the negative spectrum, kind of like this, boy, does a lot more detail come out and stuff. So you're welcome to come over here and play with this instrument because these are NASA's images, not mine. Okay. Look how this light coming out over here. We got to check this out really quick here. See how it's almost like that feather coming out, reaching out right here. Let's see if we can capture this just a tad bit better. There we go. So we have this like condensed area, but little streaks, little wings coming off this way and this way. Okay, these two have their own independent flow compared to this trailing off. See these different angles? See this angle coming off and this angle in the back? That's different. That's separate from this angle. There's two different events. One shadowing in the background. One, this is like a little moon satellite in the foreground there. But you can tell just slightly those two different angles of attack right there. This one matching up with this. These two matching up. Okay. Two separate events going on right there. Yeah, right there's better. All right, enough. Let's continue on. Zooming out, brightening back up. Thank you for your patience and tolerance as I bounce all over the place here. All righty, now let's continue. We have a couple more frames here. Sorry, I haven't even had a chance to look at these yet, so I kind of eyeballing each frame a little bit. All right, that's good enough. So there's your activity going into your Happy New Year, okay? Let's bounce on back. Okay, geomagnetic forecast, January 1st, G1, that's better. We did take a G1 today right here, okay? So thankfully it's less. It's not a G3, okay, which was predicted, and I'm thankful for that, okay? I don't want a G3 storm. That does major devastation. We already got enough as it is, so. Our first little bit of good news for the new year. It's always a good indicator of how the year's going to go a little bit. If you got good news or what kind of news. So we did receive a G1 storm currently underway right now. And I'm just going to pop these up. They look too bright for the camera on my end. And I think it is kind of on your end too. So I'm going to darken it a little bit, just so you can get your coloration in there. All right, so you can see this little red band that's flowing through the middle. So we got green, yellow, and then a red stripe down the middle. So we are having a decent little G1 storm. It possibly, at this little red in the middle here, it might increase a tad bit more to a G2. but we'll see here as the time progresses. Okay, now I'm going to brighten this back up. Yeah, because on my screen, because I'm just looking at my little phone here while I'm doing this, it doesn't appear to be showing the coloration that I'm looking for your report. Meanwhile, your G1 KP of almost 5 here. Let's go over here. Look, you see the line for 5 is just underneath this a tad bit. There we go. So that's current conditions right now as we speak. So we're having a little bit of auroras. We're having a G1 storm. It's not much. Thankfully, it's not the G3. And there's your coloration. Now it's coming in a little better down in the corner there. All right, so currently having a G1 storm. Happy New Year, G1 instead of G3. Now, X flare potential 25%. Okay, we all understand we got a bunch of sunspots going on. Meanwhile, your M flares for today 2.9, 27, 2050, and a couple of 3.5s. 3.5s were the day before yesterday. Okay. Also here we have a 3936 beta gamma delta configuration right here. It's declining, so that's good. I think we just had our event and now it's going to decline. Otherwise, we got 3938 that's beta gamma and 3939 is beta delta. Now, to have a delta configuration without the gamma is different. It's usually beta gamma, beta gamma. This one, beta delta. If one of the other polarities flares up, that could still have potential, and it's still growing. So our next beta gamma delta configuration could possibly be this 3938, or 3939 with already delta. Okay, so now the partial halo CME associated with the eruption in the southeast quadrant on December 29th just swept past Earth. The solar wind speed increased from 350 kilometers per second to nearly 475 kilometers per second, while the BZ, or the IMF component, continues to fluctuate. The geomagnetic storm warning is now in effect, and more updates are coming. Excuse me. The BZ component of the interplanetary magnetic field, our good old IMF, has been tipped sharply south. Okay, usually -6 is when we get concerned, and it was at -17 following the initial CME passage. Although additional fluctuations should be expected, minor G1 geomagnetic storming is still possible in the hours ahead. So aurora sky watchers at high latitude should be alerted. Already aurora pictures coming in. So really quick, let's do some track-a-lacking since we're lacking our tracking. Here we are with impact due, another impact due. Well, this is the one right here. The one that we're currently experiencing, right in New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And not much news showing up on that. Whoa. We got to pop this open. I'm sorry. Look at this density. Look at this impact. Double impact right here. I want to see this. 1 second. Por favor. Yeah, you see this double spike? That's a dense spike right there. So looks like, let me pull it down so you guys can see it. We don't even necessarily need to load up the movie. It's just going to show the same wave or whatever. But here they're showing a double impact. We're seeing one right now. We might see one a little bit later on. And then you see a third little bump as it kind of goes on out. I don't think the waves on this are really going to be an indicator, but we can try. All right, so. Oh, there is a second shock wave. I see it now. Okay, so we're going to get a double bump. Now, hopefully this double bump is nice and close together, because what could happen is the first bump weakens the magnetic field, allowing the second bump to penetrate. So let's pray that our magnetic field's nice and strong right now. We'll go over to this human here and take a peek at what's going on there. Meanwhile, backing out, come on out of here. I didn't do this one yesterday. The strong solar flare reaching X points or 1.6 just detected. That was old news. Okay, we don't need to go into that one. All right, moving on. Let's come on over and readjust here. Okay, spaceweather.com, Dr. Tony Phillips, minor geomagnetic storm watch. The minor G1 class geomagnetic storms are likely on January 1st as Earth passes through the wake of CME that struck on the 31st. High latitude sky watchers in dark locations could see their first auroras of the new year. Already seeing them. The impact sparks auroras as predicted. The CME struck Earth's magnetic field on December 31st. The strike sparked a G1 class geomagnetic storms and auroras well outside the Arctic Circle. Here, this wonderful picture of Slovakia, Orvaska Lenca, Slovakia. Horolak, this year's New Year celebration occurred in a moonless night with a clear sky. And just as the fireworks erupted, so did the sky. So there's a good indicator of our storm hitting and taking impact and getting directed to the northern regions. All right. I gotta take this out of there. All right, you can come over and finish the rest of the article. You should always come over to this page too. How much of these guys if I'm not doing a report, you can always come over there and just kind of touch base with those, see what's going on. Any one of these, or you guys can go and check it too. All right. I still need to provide more links in my stuff for you guys. All right, here we go. We came out of this whole mess the last few days right there, and look how weak the field was. It was just like limping after all this. It's just barely a green line right there, okay? But look at this down here. This is down where I believe the magma is reaching and running along the underside of the crust, because from this line up are the lower frequencies. Now you get your lower frequencies when this wave, when these energies hit the crust. The crust is thicker, so the frequencies slow down and you get your lower frequency. But here, this little solid line right through there, that looks to be almost like magma running along the underside of the crust, generating a magnetic field by doing that a little bit at a different hertz range down at 20. Okay, interesting little side effect that's going on here. But look how weak the 7.83 was. Kind of came back to life scraping, stopped again, come back to life scraping, relief of pressure, still scraping. Then almost came to good continuity, started pressure building again, couple pops and clicks, and then all of a sudden stopped. Little burp here, almost trying to continuity, last little tinges right there, and now we're starting to see a tad bit of green line going through here and a little bit of continuity. Everybody's New Year's holiday anxiety all wrapped up in there, and now it's going to taper off. When happy hangover day tomorrow already. And there's a little gap right there. You see that one little shadow going right through there? I can't really zoom in too big, but that one faint little line right there, just a little hiccup where we got weak right there. Some of this is starting to look more and more unnatural than our typical activity, and I'm wondering if maybe some of our passing objects aren't interfacing with our magnetic field, causing disruptions in the field that would result in some intense frequencies like this as well. But most of this kind of normal behavior just very intensified. Okay, so the roller coaster ride's over. Okay, party's over. Back to work. Happy hangover day. Happy New Year. All right, let's continue on, shall we? Forward march. Let's go to Null School, the School of the Null. Can we have the Earth, please? There it goes. Thank you. Look at that. I just asked and I get the Earth. Wow. Okay. So you can see your convergence zone right through here, going right through there. That's your wind. There's wind from the southern hemisphere interfacing with the wind from the northern hemisphere. Your convergence zone should be down here at the equator, but we've had thermal ventilation along the ocean floor here that's causing that effect. And at the surface, these are surface winds. You can already see our vortexes at the surface, but I want to come up to storm level. And oh yeah, look at this monster. What? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay, a couple of vortexes have intertangled here. This one, almost acting like a bicycle chain. You know, the bigger gear up front going around. There's another little tweak right here. Now, why would you have tight vortexes and all these little bends and tweaks and stuff? Well, it's because of your thermal patches on the bottom. We'll show you that in a minute. Also, while we're here, the thermal patches, we've got reports coming off the coast of Oregon that their seamount is erupting. Yeah, no surprise at this channel, though. Look at this big old storm. How is that working? Oh, I get it. This big old rotation is pulling air off of that. It almost looked like that was spitting out flames for a second, but from a different perspective, you can see this bigger entanglement right here is actually, this is the inflow. But look out through this region, right through there. Whew, that's going to be some gnarly weather for a minute there. All right, very different configurations we're seeing compared to just a couple of days ago. All right, let's get into our sandstorm report here. Particulates, dust, and extinction aerosol. Such a lovely term. Okay, coming over here. Just get a little. Camera doesn't like this color too much, but there's your density right there. Very dense plume, still spreading all the way across the Atlantic. You see this storm that was rotating out here, pulling it up. Almost looks like the Nightmare from Christmas, or what is it? The Nightmare Before Christmas, Carol Q, the Jack holds. Couple of waves going on out there. Whoa, it looks like a big wave about to crest over the United States. Anyways, no matter what it looks like, it's just sand floating around. Okay, we come over here. Oman, Saudi Arabia, Yemen area. Okay, they're getting the intensity there. It's spreading out through this region. Okay, no face there tonight. I know where it is. I know what it's up to. All right, here we go. Sandstorm, not storm, but particulates now have reached the North Pole, you know, from this sandstorm activity blowing around, getting dispersed and diffused around the world. It's made it up to the North Pole. I'm trying to see it if it's there. Oh, whoa. There it goes. For those with eyes that see. Okay. And there's a reason. You're not too happy with that region right there. Is he spitting something on it? It looks like he's spitting out the sandstorm on this region right here. No, it's still there. Okay, moving on, shall we? Yipe. Okay, getting into our SO2 report. This is sulfur dioxide now, not carbon. I can do a CO2 report if you want, but most people don't like it when I do that because I embarrass them. So let me just make a few little adjustments here. before we just start going into this. All right, there we go. Here we go. Your country divided. One side pouring out over here. We got very porous crust, very spongy like type, has a lot of pores and a lot of channels, so air, gas can pass through it. So bleeding out all over on this side, more on this side, more granite, mountainous, compact granite. So the perforations are volcanic in nature. There you go. And let's go for our fires. Okay, I don't see any at all. Good, 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 good. We want to start off the new year with no fires. Better than having a bunch. Okay, now you can see this SO2 activity has just blossomed all over the world now. Okay, it used to be 4 little dots in California. Now it's all over the planet. We're going down through Cuba. You see all these volcanic islands, each one of them spewing SO2. Sorry, I'm not trying to sound monotone, but we go through the same kind of little spiel each night here. Boom, boom, boom. Just kind of going, marching forward here. All independent sites, okay? This is not a plume. These are all little perforations in the crust emitting SO2 plumes. These would all be volcanic, magma squirting out of them if the channel was a lot bigger. The channels that are coming up from down below are so tight, coming through the dirt, that only gas to pass through it. So here we are at the fulcrum point on the plate boundary. It's a fulcrum point on land. Your weak spot, that's a pretty good, strong, healthy spot tonight. Usually it's just one square like this and dark. Tonight it's a bigger square. It's much bigger. Usually this size and dark. So you see a bigger volume area surface there. So that tells me we got a little uptick in pressure in that region, pushing out more gas. Here during this region right here, very immense or intense emissions, blowing out another good plume of gas into the Pacific. That's a healthy plume, so that means a lot of pressure. Not so much on the Atlantic tonight. Okay, coming on over to Hawaii, where it's still 2024. Yep, get this, you guys. While I'm reporting right now, on one part of the planet, it's still 2024, and where I'm reporting, it's 2025. So, ringing in the new year. Here we are, Oahu, still intense SO2 emissions, Hawaii, volcanic activity and SO2. Meanwhile, Maui still has slight emissions and everything. So, welcome everybody. Happy New Year. All right. Here we go. Look how this storm out here just pulling this gas out into it. You see how it's drawing this stuff out into it. It's like a giant vortex with a big inflow. Okay, we got to adjust for their time zones because they're around 8 hours behind us here. Once you cross the international date line, then it's tomorrow. But the last little people on the earth are this Hawaii and some of these islands out here before you cross the international date line. So already 2025, except in Hawaii and last few islands there. Okay, coming over to China here, the bruise on the face of the planet. They have very spongy crust too, very porous and huge SO2 emissions there, have fissures going on, and boy, what I saw, I pray to God it don't happen. They might have something happen where a mountainside could slide away and flames shoot out of a broken mountainside. I think I've seen it. Like almost like it's not a volcano, it's like a regular mountain that it sloughs away, and gas that's already, like methane, already on fire, just shooting out of a mountain, and there's nothing you can do about it. But meanwhile, there's their SO2 emissions, very, very intense. No wonder why they have pneumonia going on over there, because they have this and SO4, which is very dangerous. Okay. India, Strong emission sites blowing up against the Himalayas, following suit of China there. Meanwhile, look over here in the Middle East. It's turning into a bloodbath over here of carbon and sulfur and methane. We have very strong emissions going through this area, going up through there, spreading out all through that region now. And some of these sites are emitting methane. Methane at 3,000 degrees is already at temperature for spontaneous combustion. It doesn't need a spark. All it needs is oxygen. And as soon as that 3,000 degree methane hits oxygen, poof, you got a pit opens up with flames coming out of it. And they're seeing that happen through this region in the desert, as well as strong SO2 emissions going all the way up through there. Okay, let's come on down to Java. Okay, Java acting like the relief valve, nice and dark tonight. Look at Sumatra relieving a lot of, SO2 as well. Pretty good. Just checking in here. Plate boundary system here by Fiji, our pencil boat-shaped island right here. 2 strong emission sites act like a slow leak next to the valve stem in a bicycle tube. So Fiji, pretend it's the valve stem where pressure's going in, and the plate boundary system comes right through here. Well, this is the first slow leak next to the pressure release, or pressure, the valve stem. So it kind of relieves pressure going up the plate boundary lately. That's been doing that. Meanwhile, healthy emissions out of Fiji. Fiji slowly but surely getting stronger emissions. Over here we have the Home Reef Island, which was it was a seamount that grew big enough and broke the surface of the water, and now it's a volcanic island with SO2 emissions. Okay, that's good enough with that. Let's come on over and get into our sea surface temperature anomalies, shall we? There we go. Dated the 30th because this map's a day behind. It takes a day to compile all the data from around the world to make this colorful little map for us. Now, these are temperatures in the sea surface, but they're correlating with heat, with emissions on the ocean floor. Excuse me here. For instance, right here, we got a seamount. It's emitting magma, let's say, all right? And that magma heats the water. That water rises up through the layers, okay? It goes in a column structure. It doesn't blossom out really much at the bottom. The pressure and the cold down there keep that heat plume in a column type structure that reaches straight up to the surface. It does spread out a little bit here and there, but it mostly rises like a column. And then when it hits the surface, well, there's this thing called surface tension. The surface tension in the water makes that heat column blossom out like a flower, and you're seeing the blossom heads of emissions on the ocean floor, okay? And they're creating these thermal water heat anomalies. These heat anomalies transfer into emissions on the ocean floor, okay? You understand how that works. Not really tough stuff, really, to grasp. It's just that science has taught you and mainstream has taught you differently. And so until you open up your mind to how this really works, then you'll see that it's really simple stuff. These are all little, this is Tamumasi area out here, okay? All little volcanic vents and, cracks and little, your little seamounts. Okay, this activity over here by the West Coast kind of quieting down a little bit. Our main region of concern lately has been right here at the Juan de Fuca. And you can see this little point area. I'm going to put my little circle right there. Okay. Imagine a line running parallel to this one, this white one that comes out right here and then zigzags up the page, right? Well, your heat plume, there's heat in the water. That means something's venting in this area, causing this heat plume along the coastline, and then there's cold right next to it, okay? Those air masses, hot air rising, cold air rushing in, create rotation. But for right now, this is causing earthquake activity in the Juan de Fuca area and south of it. Okay, so south of this little circle down here is this region, and that's why we're seeing quake activity down there. Some of this is probably reaching under the land. Okay, this is emissions that are out in the water. Some of this is probably pressure under the land as well. Now, they were talking about new volcanic activity off the coast of Oregon out here in the Juan de Fuca. A seamount erupting out there right now. It's the most active volcano in the Pacific Northwest is offshore, off the coast of Oregon right there. Could you see why? I mean, we've been talking about this for a while, so there should be no surprise here at this family that when you hear that a seamount is opening up off the coast of Oregon, yep, of course it is. We got this going on right there. Okay, so there's your activity in that region for right now. We're coming down a little bit down the coast here. This big active plot right here has pushed some pressure. There's temperature, so there's pressure. This relates to pressure as well, okay? Imagine the pressure coming up from down below the surface, and when it hits the crust, it finds little pathways, and it comes out bleeding out. This is all like blood coming out, almost. Now we see this area had crept into the bay here, into this structure right here in LA, and now it's retreated, and now their earthquake activity in that I-shaped structure will reduce in magnitude and in intensity. Meanwhile, we got these spots down there. We got to watch for activity down the lower part of the San Andreas there still. We still have this hot pocket out here in the Gulf, creating warm, moist air that can get picked up and thrown into the country. We got this hot current going out here on the East Coast. We're going around the world. We got these little pockets growing here. Oh, man, the Canary Islands, watch out. You guys got pressure in the region. Well, actually, not necessarily, because these vents have opened up. When you got pathways of least resistance working right here, relieving pressure next to a volcano, these are plugged up. So it will come out here and kind of keep activity down there, I think. So, Misty, I am always up. The only time I sleep are cat naps when I'm physically exhausted and just face plant into the bed or something. So I'm always up. You're up late. I love you guys. You're awesome. Meanwhile, here we go. Check out that plume right there off the coast. It's not a sunny day and a hot beach. No, there's something else going on because you got cold water just 100 miles away right here on the coast and then super hot. So there's obviously an emission site. Look what's going on down there. That almost looks like a fissure or a crack has opened up down there. Meanwhile, we come over to Java. I like to check on Java. It's the relief valve, a lot of SO2, a lot of volcanic activity coming out of that region. So look at the cold water inundation we have. That's a good sign right there. But it can also produce rotation because you got hot water right next to it. So a lot of this is venting and relieving pressure too. You got to remember path of least resistance. When something opens up out here, well, whatever pressure was right there now has an easier way to escape. It'll transfer pressure and it'll come out here relieving pressure in other areas. You guys understand how that works too, right? Well, if you don't, imagine when you burp how your stomach feels better. There you go. All right, coming back to this Pencil Island right here, you can see heat yellow is starting to encroach on this area again. We had seen it encroach in here before and then relieve. Well, look here, it's coming back again. See, we've absorbed a bunch of energy from the sun. The core is heating up, it's grinding away. It's also causing the magma to heat. And when magma heats, it swells and pushes outward in all directions, which makes it push on the underside of the crust. The underside of the crust, the inside. So it's coming up from down below, trying to come up through any crack. And SO2 emissions, and now these emissions as well. Cold water inundation right here. We have a new heat plume right here, right on that plate boundary going right up through there. So there's going to be an emission site right here, probably Vanuatu, right around there. Happy New Year, you guys. You survived 2024. Oh my God. If you guys knew all the things that you survived, you're aware of some of this stuff, but boy, did you survived. You really did survive 2024. And that should be encouragement, because if you made it this far and you survived 2024, you got good marching boots for 2025. All right, now let's get this wind on there. Correlating air patterns now. Over hot water, hot air. Over cold water, cool air. Hot air rises, cold air rushes in to replace it. Now you are seeing spinning vortex activity correlating with your hot and cold signatures. The thermal plumes on the ocean floor are commanding the weather. All right, they're taking control of the weather. It's no longer your lower jet stream that's taking stuff and steering it. It's more your storms guiding stuff now. And as you can see, this round circular cold patch right here, air going right up in there, circulating around. Okay, we've had a little breakup of this stuck vortex activity out here, shifted a little more this way. That's good. It's changed weather patterns. It's not just demolishing the coastline now. Now it's going a little more inland. Well, when I say that, you can still see this one intense area right along the coastline. As we go in a little bit, you can see some starting to bleed inland a little bit, but it goes right over, most of it going right over, and then coming right back down into the country. Once this air pattern, see how this cold air is diving, it's pushing all the way down and keeping the warm, moist air from colliding and coming up into it. It's such a cold, deep trough that it's actually hindering the warm upflow. Wow, what a configuration. Look at this rotation right here. Cold air rushing in to replace hot air rising. This hot air finally gets up high and it cools and drops and goes down into the cold air and comes back around. So a lot of weather is very unpredictable. It's not your old-fashioned weather that was very predictable anymore. An earthquake could shift something in the strata, closing or opening a new spot, changing vorticity and changing your weather pattern. So we're at a point now where an earthquake could affect the weather. Crazy. Just down here really quick, you saw your La Nina, very organized out here. It was well organized for this region, but we've had all this opening on the ocean floor. See these little vents that are opening right here that's disrupted this region, causing your shift in your convergence zone there. All right. Kind of look around for a sec here. What? Oh, look at this. Let me take the wind off here really quick. Yeah, right around Greece here, you guys, and Turkey and everything. You see this region, this yellow going on? This is different than hot water trapped in a bay. Okay, usually I don't report on the spots that are inland, but this is the Mediterranean Sea. It's a very voluminous body of water, and to see such an intense hot signature like that, that's definitely a reading. Okay, I was looking more over here at Italy. They're too quiet. but that's okay. We don't want to see it. Right here, there's been an opening off the coast of Turkey right here in this Greece area, this whole plateau area that we'll do an earthquake report on in a minute. This is relieving pressure in the area, keeping quake activity down in this region. But it has increased temperatures in that area, and they could see their own independent weather kick up from that. And up here in the Black Sea, this is starting to look more like, especially when we're in wintertime. Okay, this region's in wintertime now. We shouldn't be having hot signatures in the sea and in the bays and in the oceans in wintertime. Meanwhile, look up here at Iceland. It was surrounded by some yellow. Now that's tapered off because we've seen volcanic activity and SO2 emissions here. So all of a sudden, cold water inundation in that area. All right, good enough, good enough. We'll leave that there. Take this down and open up an earthquake report. See how we're shaking. How are things shaking on the USBGS map? Stop it. All right. Satellite for your viewing pleasure. Because you guys like to watch. Okay, let me just do a few last little adjustments. Okay, deep quake region, Fiji. 4.3 down at 412. That's not our typical deep quake. 4.1 down at 568. There's your deep quake, 568, and a little lower in magnitude. Usually we're seeing mid-range 4. Maybe these two together, because that's a little higher in the strata than that one is. Then we come over here, right opposite our island where we're seeing heat signature. Come here, you. 5.6 at the surface. Come here. Well, right across is right there. We have this right here. But there's where the dot is. 4.8 there at Vanuatu. So down at 62 right there. Whoops. It's further south. Down here. Right at the plate boundary. Oh, that's like right here. Oh, we got to get this a little bit better. Take this down. I want to know exactly now where that's coming from. This little island. That island. Okay. This little... Oh, dude, we got something coming out right here at the plate boundary. Look at this. This is magma or hot water or something oozing out at the very beginning of the plate boundary right here, you guys. And that'll keep, well, it should relieve pressure in the area, but we have a lot of yellow in that area. This is at the surface, 5.6 cracking at the surface. So we got magnitude 5+ that's made it to the surface, relieving pressure. This 4.8 is 62. It's on the flank of this volcano right there. Okay, and then we come back here, right up there. Okay, relieving pressure. All right, sorry I'm bouncing all over tonight. You guys are like, stop. Okay, now, finally we're starting to see activity in this region. So much volcanoes going off. We're so many going off through this region. It's relieving pressure, keeping magnitudes down. But here we have 5.0 at the surface. 4.9 at the surface. 4.6 down at 64. That's on the flank of that volcanic island right there. And a 5.1. So 3 5s right here, relieving pressure at the surface. Very quiet around Java, Sumatra area, Fulcrum Point quake up here at Taiwan, another one finally. 3.9 down at 25, that's good, relieving pressure in that region. Nothing up through Japan, up through that region, really quiet. We're coming over here to Turkey, Iran area, 4.2 at the surface there, relieving pressure in Iran. This event here in Africa still underway. We have volcanoes waking up in this region, okay. 4.4 at the surface, let's see, 4.3, 4.5, all mid-range 4s right here. Higher end 8 there, a couple of higher ends. All right, so mid-range to higher end 4s right there around our volcano. Tale, or no, we'll get to it tonight. Fentanyl or fentale, almost looks like fentanyl. Is that the one? In Ethiopia, yeah. All right, we'll get into that later. This is the region right here in Greece. This whole structure right here was where we're seeing heat coming out right along this coastline here. So don't be surprised you see some kind of earthquake activity in this region here in the future. It is relieving pressure, but that area coming to life underwater down there, you saw that. Okay, just touch base. Plate boundary really quick. 4.7, fulcrum point, 5.1, 4.9 down to the side there. Quick magnitude check there. 3.4. Okay, all magnitude US. Boom, boom. All right. A lot of volcanoes going off in this region, relieving pressure in that region. We come through here, we finally start to see 3.0 here, 4.2 there. Good little indication. This is right on this ridge, right on these volcanic islands right there. 4.2 magnitude being relieved along that region. We come up into your multiple fulcrum point area. Current activities 2 and 2.1. Coming down into the Juan de Fuca. Now, what do we have? Our hotspot opening up. We're seeing earthquake activity out here with a 3.2 at the surface on the boundary, relieving pressure there. Remember, I was showing you temperature inside this plate structure? And now we're having earthquakes inside that plate. 2.8 at the surface. This is at the surface, not on a boundary. This is very shallow quake that's not on a fracture zone, so that means heat's very close to the surface right there. And we're seeing vents open up right there. And you can tell when we come over to here, you guys know I don't need to do this. This is just for newcomers so they can grasp these concepts. Oh, I got a little thing about your fog, too. Let me show you something here really quick. Now, you know everybody's got their little things about the fog. I got something. We'll get into that in the weather report here. You saw how that cold air was coming way down. When you have a bunch of warm, moist ground, the ground's still saturated with water, okay, and then cold air comes in. Well, cold air is what's causing the fog. It's the moisture in the ground combining with your cold air that's creating fog all over the place. Now, it's thicker in some spots and it's in other spots. This UFO activity, some of these UFOs induce a fog bank in which to hide in. They can create condensation. We'll get into that in the spiritual report, but for right now, there's all your thermal patterns and your earthquakes right there, okay, in the middle of the plate, not on the boundary. Here we go. This is off the boundary too. It's inside the plate, not in the middle, but it is inside the plate. 2.7 at 14. On a boundary right here is your 2.8 pushing inland because it doesn't like to turn the corner. 1.7. We're seeing 2.9 there at Willits. Coming down, there's your the geysers microquaking out. Relieving pressure as it comes into the Bay Area. Keeping magnitudes down to 1.8. Nothing through the Hayward Fault zone area. A little bit on here. Yeah, that's nothing. Every once in a while we get this ping pong activity. When activity at this fulcrum point dies down, we get an increase out here at this new site. So as you can see, there's more quakes here today than there was on the fulcrum point. So we saw a little increase in activity in this area when the other area quieted down. Big quakes are 2.3 and 2.2. So magnitudes aren't all that high, but still some going on. There's a weak spot on the underside of the crust right here. Magma's pushing up through this area. It can't get to the surface, so it's rumbling the ground. Same with that plate boundary. Same with over here. This, it can make it to the ground and actually relieve. Oh, Happy New Year, cigarettes. You make me want to have a cigarette. In fact, we'll be doing that in a few once we get the weather done. 1.1 million in Nevada. Just current activity here. All right, what I'm trying to do, look here. This area quieted down. There's one quake. You know, it's mainly out here. One at the fulcrum point. Multiple here today. So it took its turn over here. And we have red here, so currently here, not currently up there. So it's this side's turn now. Get it? Got it? Good. Moving on. You see our little I-shaped structure right there? Activity really quieting down. We do have current activity, though. It's really small, but it's still current. So still a little bit of activity in that region, but small. We're going to come back up here. Okay, inside here, we're starting to see a little quake activity. This is down deeper, 2.7. We have this little mountainous structure right there where it's not necessarily volcano, but you could see how it's been pushed up right here. A little weak zone at the foot of that. Here's your Mount Rainier. Earthquake activity over here off to the side of it. Here's your Mount St. Helens earthquake activity on the flank of it. This is along. Wow. Okay. I want to capture this right here. From this quake up here, all the way down here, this whole area of quake activity. This whole area, and remember I said I bet you some of this is creeping under the shore, under the ground here. Yep. We're seeing activity, earthquake activity at volcanic sites is an indication of pressure down below. Wanted to see this 3.0 at the surface here in Stanley. They got fault structure galore right there. Yeah. Just seeing if it was a volcanic site as well. Now here we are over at a volcanic site. A little bit of activity kicking up around Yellowstone. It's microquake, not very big, but it's activity. So there's a lot of microquaking going on in that region. Every time we get a little flux of pressure from down below, some of these weaker spots light up. Even out here in Utah, we had 1.7. Oh, dude, that's right by Caliente. All right, here we go. Typical activity for your man-made perforations in the crust. Current activity 1.3. Nice and quiet around New Madrid. Let's look up the Craton. And lo and behold, this area up here again, 2.4. And that's shallow. That's at 4.8. Oh, this is a different region. Can I get a little bit closer than that? Oh, sorry, I'm just kind of looking around for any indication of any kind of faulting, volcanic. What's this? That's a town. Okay. I'll let you be the judge of this. This is a river, okay? But there's your diverse quake, okay? Sorry, I can't get a better image on that, but for right now, there's your diverse quake, okay? Pressure down underneath. It's just like one of those hot spots that's down underneath the crust, but it's in the ground here. It wants to push up and vent at the surface. There's no volcanic feature, so it's shaking the ground in that area. That's why you're having quakes in diverse places, because of this new pressure coming up from down below. All around the world, at features that aren't volcanic in nature or earthquake, boundaries. That's your diverse quake. We had one up here in Canada just the other day, and it was surrounded by faults. So that is different. I want you to see the difference there, okay? Why I determine things certain ways and why I determine things other ways, because I'm looking for any kind of topographical, any kind of weak structure in the surface. I mean, we do have this river right here, St. Lawrence Seaway, that's been there for a long, is that the St. Lawrence? Yeah. But the ground around here, I don't see faulting, I mean, no serious fault structures running through topographically. That's your oddball quake. It's your diverse quake. Okay, so I try to rule out everything before saying that. I don't just like to say, oh, hey, here's a diverse quake out in the middle of the ocean. No, it's a volcano. It should have earthquakes. Okay. 2.1, yeah, there's still microquake and pressure release there. Okay, little red going on in this map up here in Alaska along the west coast. We're coming alive here on the west coast. So everybody on the west coast, happy New Year. You might be earthquake for New Year. We'll shake, rattle, and roll, but not too much. All right, let's get on in our volcano report now. Okay, a lot of pressure pushing up to the surface. We got 38 and 35 is 73. 7 years ago, when all this stuff started happening to me, we only had one volcano. The idea of there being 73 sounds crazy. But if I told you back then, 7 years from now, we're going to have 73 volcanoes, you would have said, Brian, you're crazy. Well, here we are, 73 active volcanoes, and I am still crazy about you. All right, let's get into it. All right. I don't want to view your PDF. Keep your PDF under your pants. All right. Look at this. You see how the shape of this bay and this little island, and there's a volcano in the middle of it? That's, what was that? Yeah, Sakurajima. Here's Suwanosejima out in the ocean. Okay, Sakurajima did 8,000 today. Suwanosi did 6,000. Canleon or Canalone? I like to say Canleon. Like a shoulder you can lay on, put your head on. Unknown report. Okay. All right. Ibu, or I be with you. It's 6,000 feet tonight. Semaru, 14. Popocatépetl, 21. Santa Guido, 14. Fuego, not much. Nevada del Ruiz, 21. That's a pretty healthy blast. And that's just in the last few minutes. Because here is today, or it was now yesterday, or here's last year. Now it's next year. I'm telling you, time really flies at this channel from one year to the next in one show. Oh my goodness, let's go. There's your map of insanity. Let me take that down. You guys, I say don't get desensitized by this. Maybe you should come over here and take a hard look at it instead and read off all of these names to yourself and say, Stravingi's in eruption. Kilauea is in eruption. This home reef is in eruption. Stromboli and Etna. When the clouds cleared to freak people out, they saw Etna just going crazy back in the background. So, interruption. All these interruptions. So, a map of insanity. And don't forget, we still have a currently erupting volcano on the continent of Antarctica. Eva, you guys are just hanging on like kids on a roller coaster. All right. 6,000 out of Saccharagina, Canleo 9, Ibu, I be with you, 6,000 again, Luatobi, don't take a swig, just take it little shots at a time. 7,000, Semaru 14, Marapi 11, Popocatépetl 20, Santo Guido 14. See how a lot of these are over 10,000 foot blasts. 14, 20, 11, 14. Those are taller blasts, okay? Again, Sangay at 20, Reventador 16. And do you have a dusty house? Don't dump more dust on it. Okay, and that's all that they're kind of reporting for the moment, but there's a lot more going on because when I show you those lists, there's that whole map. Now let's move on to our tidbits, tropical tidbits, that is. Everybody ready for a tidbit? Put your hand out, open up. Here's your tidbits. Actually, forecast models for all you guys. All right. Busy weekend weather. We have lots of particulates. We have lots of moisture, creating lots of raindrops. The capacity for the air to hold. Oh, look, we just got screwed out of the report. Yep, they just dished out the rest of the frames, and we only got a couple of frames. All right, well, I guess that means we're closer to the spiritual report then, aren't we? Because there ain't much to show there, is there? Meanwhile, what I want to talk about here at the map was this region where we saw that flow coming through. Now we have cold air diving really far south that's hindered this flow that was coming up through the Gulf and slamming into that cold air and creating severe weather. So while this cold air is down to this low, it keeps that southern flow hampered, slowing down your intense thunderstorms. So welcome to winter. It's going to get chilly for a while, and that cold air is going to dive really far south there. Okay, so well, I guess we could just get on to here. So let's clear on out, get all the geophysics and all the astrophysics and all this physics and physics. Let's do some did I get it right? Nope. All right. What some people would call metaphysics, basically how you work, how you were designed. You were designed to skip the ad. There you go. All right, so something about this image right here. This is not my producing. This is captured by a gentleman who saw this happening out by the moon, went and invested in a expensive camera, the P9000, I think it is, to get that close to the moon. And this is not cloud layer in the sky between the moon. This is an object that's out by the moon. The moon is right here in the corner, actually illuminating this face. I didn't capture this image. Somebody else did. And this is my face again showing up out by the moon. And it's showing up all over the place. All right, so we're going to pull up some more imagery and do some reading. I got something for you. Now, everybody says Happy New Year, right? Which is a wonderful phrase. And what happens in that phrase is the word year, okay? Everybody says Happy New Year, okay? Well, when you just seen what we went through in 2024, and you're looking at the year of 2025 with some hesitation, with some foreboding or whatever, got to remember, just like in 2024, you're taking it one day at a time. So don't let the word year bundle all of that into one big thing. No, you're still going to be taking it one day at a time. Okay, so let me get this going here. So let me see. 2025 will be challenging, but it will be one day at a time, and take it one day at a time, step by step, and overcome the world one step at a time, just like you've been doing. Okay, so don't let the whole bundle of 1 year create anxiety. Remember, just one day at a time. Okay, keep your anxiety levels down. All right, and so happy new day. It's just another day. It's man's calendar that really switched it into a year. And why did we create this? What happened 2025 years ago that made man start recording the date? Oh yeah, 2025 years ago was when this dude was around, right? And New Year's celebration is actually kind of a celebration of the birth of Christ back in those days, too, when you look at it in the right perspective. Okay, so we got that one pulled up. We're going to pull up another one here from my channel, because I do a lot of photography work myself, and I saw things happening, and I was like, I better start looking up. And I better start tracking the sun, the moon, and the stars, right? Because it said sun, moon, stars, right? So I started looking up, and then I said, well, coming in the clouds, I better start checking out the clouds. And all of a sudden, lo and behold, guess what's in your clouds? Boy, the world is gonna freak. All right, there we go. Actually, let me get to the part in this video really quick where it shows up a tad bit better. Folks, welcome back. So snapping some pictures of the clouds yesterday, and I noticed something forming in the clouds, what looked like a face over here. And I'm gonna start zooming in on this. Wait, no, we're not. We're staying right there. Right there. This is like a bisected face right here with an eye right here. It's like an alien face. You see that? Bisected down the middle right here. There's an eye of one side of the face being illuminated, watching this event. So it's a alien watcher witnessing this event. Did you notice that? This little alien dude is witnessing this event. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. So snapping some pictures of the clouds yesterday, and I noticed something forming in the clouds, what looked like a face over here. And I'm going to start zooming in on this face because it's a real face. And if you look back behind it here, let's zoom in just a little bit. You'll notice that back behind here, this face is being projected by Jesus's heart right here. You can see it radiating out. Here's Jesus's face. He's pulling open his shirt, exposing his heart. His heart's radiating out this image in the sky. See his face here? And there's a crown right here. Also in the etherical, in black, there's another crown right here. Anyways, I just wanted to show you this picture.
this amazing?
Okay, now we're gonna go really quick.
Smile, here's the head. And the arms are outstretched, and he's holding a cell phone taking pictures of the sky. This is an image of me taking the pictures of the clouds. So the clouds are now mimicking me taking pictures of them.
Okay, here's the head right there, the arms outstretched right here, holding the cell phone. Can you see that right there? That's me grimacing in pain, my arms shaking because I got shattered shoulders and it's hard to hold the cell phone up for an hour. Your arms really, the blood rushes out of your arms and gets painful. But there's the clouds mimicking me. There's my face in the clouds right there again. So something is making my face in the clouds wherever I go. And now the clouds are showing, hey, we see you taking pictures of us. Hey, we see you taking pictures of us. The clouds are recognizing me, taking pictures of them, aren't they? Aren't they? Okay, now let's get back to our image for reading here. I think it's right there. It's pretty good. All right, we'll pull this back here. Alrighty, now we got that one incorporated in there with that one. I'll turn the light back on. And what did I have for you guys tonight? We see all this stuff happen around us. It can really get you going. So it's important that you also relax, take time out, be in my presence for a moment, take a few deep breaths, look up on the screen. I might even turn my camera around tonight and you'll see me reading here in a minute. But it's important that you have this teachable spirit, okay? Not some know-it-all who's based in the world, who knows everything about science and this and that, and theories and theories and theories, and knows all the string theory and theories. No, you got to be teachable. Even at any age, an old dog can still learn new tricks. You got to have a teachable spirit, right? So come to me with a teachable spirit, eager to be changed. A close walk with me is a life of continual newness. So do not cling to old ways as you step into this new year, one step at a time into this new year. Do not cling to the old ways. Instead, seek my face with an open mind, knowing that your journey with me involves being transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, as you focus your thoughts on me, be aware that I am fully attentive to you. I see you with a steady eye, and because my attention span is infinite, I know and understand you completely. My thoughts embrace you in everlasting love. I also know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Plans to give you hope and a future. Look at that image. There is your foundation. There is your hope. There is your future. I have plans for you to prosper, not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. So give yourself fully to this adventure of increasing attentiveness to my presence. How can I do this here without camera's too close there? Maybe if I go hang on, before I do the next reading, I'm gonna try something here. We got all these set up, but can we get me set up here? I'm gonna try to turn the camera around for you guys so you can see this face in the flesh. Let me just kind of do a little adjusting here. Let's read this next part with me. Actually, let's do this face really quick. Well, we got it there. So you'll see the resemblance here. Okay. Right there. Relax in my healing presence as you spend time with me. Your thoughts tend to jump ahead to today's plans and problems, so bring your mind back to me for refreshment and renewal. For refreshment and renewal. Let the light of my presence soak into you as you focus your thoughts on me. Thus, I equip you to face whatever the day brings. This sacrifice of your time pleases me and strengthens you, doesn't it? It strengthens you. I'm pleased that you just took a few moments of your time. I couldn't get 5 minutes of people's time, and I suffered severely for it. So the sacrifice of your time pleases me and it strengthens you. So do not skimp on our time together. Resist the clamor of tasks waiting to be done. And if you have chosen what is better, and it will not be taken away from you. Okay, now let's got other one here. And then, okay, yeah. Let's see if we can do it like this. Take the whole thing up there like that. This right here. And get ready, you're going to see my face. Here we go. Howdy. Now, do not dwell on the past. See that I am doing a new thing. As you begin your new year, rejoice that I am continually working newness into your life. Do not let recent disappointments and failures define or dampen your expectations. This is time to make a fresh start. I'm a God of unlimited creativity, and expect me to do surprising things in this year that stretches out before you. Today is a precious gift. The present moment is where I meet with you, my beloved. So seek my face throughout each day that I have made. I have carefully prepared it for you with tender attention to every detail. I want you to rejoice and be glad in it. Search for the signs of my loving presence as you journey along the path of life. Look for the little pleasures that I've strewn along the pathway, sometimes in surprising places like in the clouds, and thank me for each one. It's your thankfulness that will keep you close to me and help you find joy in your journey. Okay. Help you find joy in your journey. Joy in your tribulation. Finding the glories in your overcoming and overcoming your situations on a daily basis. The world, basically, you see the world in its insanity, right? The mainstream media has taken people into a area of mass psychosis. All right, so we have a world of mass psychosis, people getting violent with each other, going to war, right? So times are troubling, and you're overcoming those aspects on a day-by-day basis, one step at a time. And every time that you overcome something and you salvage your day, say some bad news came your way, but you didn't dwell on it all day. It may have taken you out for a few minutes, but you took time, prayed, got away from the situation, put your attention back where it belongs, and then you recovered your day. And then you went about your business and you overcame that situation. That gives you self-esteem, not pride, but a sense of confidence that you know that you can overcome stuff. With this, you can overcome everything, all right, if you learn to work it properly. These are disciplines that we practice on a day-to-day basis. Instead of going to church just on Sunday, no, it's living life fully every day, every moment with this in your life, or with this, in your mind, in the background of your mind. And eventually this becomes the filter through which you speak and talk to people and express yourself with love. Okay, so you're finding a new filter. I'm doing a new thing inside of you as well. You come here to be transformed. I take you away from the problems of the world. You see the problems of the world now as signs of your victory. They are not problems. They are not catastrophes. They are signs of your impending victory. Okay, when you see from that perspective, you realize that you're a soldier in a spiritual war and that you're battling every day. Okay, knowing that you're a soldier gives you a little sense of confidence. It puts you in the right perspective of being on a battlefield. Okay, this is spiritual warfare. I showed you this human resonance, and the different fluctuations can cause mood swings, not necessarily in you, but in other people. They will come at you from sideways, out of character, and you're going to go, wait, where'd that come from? Well, it's not the person, it's the spiritual warfare going on inside that person. It's not their fault. They're being attacked. They don't understand. They don't have these tools to deal with it and overcome the world. But you do, and you overcome it. Every time you do, you get a glory, a little crown, okay? And I take your adversity, and when you overcome it, I make a collage like this out of your adversity. And you overcame here and you overcame there, and you are going from glory to glory to glory in your tribulation. And you're still finding joy in life where other people are in misery, they're in depression, they're homeless, they've just given up. You can't give up. Soldiers don't give up. You got to keep fighting. So you got to look at it the perspective that you're a soldier in this war, spiritual warfare, and guess what beats everything? Love does. You can't beat your enemy to death. He's still going to hate you. But if you turn around and love him and forgave him and gave him no reason to hate you, well, you just diffused the whole bomb there, didn't you? That's how this works. And the sooner, so you guys have a good jump start on this. You're having achievements already. You're putting notches in your belt. You're gaining confidence. You are a battle-hardened soldier who's already seen combat, all right? A lot of you feel the side effects physically, so you got a purple heart, basically, because you continue through your physical ailments to still be positive and bring joy into other people's lives, unlike most people can do. You are truly a warrior in this spiritual warfare. You're on the front line. You're the tip of the spear. And every time you bring light into other people's lives, your face is shining like this into other people's lives. It gives them hope and courage and strength too. You're bringing the same hope and strength and courage that I bring to you, you are bringing to other people in their lives, as well as overcoming your stuff each day. It's just multifaceted. So many facets that you don't even see them all. You're just looking at your one salvage per day or 2 or 3 per day that are obvious. And there's so many things that are connected to this one, so many things that were connected to that one, and so many things that you overcame in the third one. You just keep going. All right. You let me chalk up all your victories, seen and unseen, and you just keep plowing forward. You have hope. You have reason now. Your faith is being completed into knowing and to understanding the power that you have in not letting this world get you down. Okay? And even if war keeps intensifying and all this other stuff keeps going, it does not change this. This is the ultimate right here. There is your destiny. Okay? Hold on tight, keep persevering. A lot of people don't understand that prayers they're trying to pray away their blessings. When you're praying for less pain, well, overcoming that pain got you the victory. You're praying away the blessings sometimes. So a lot of people don't understand, you know, when you ask for strength, God, give me strength. Well, he gives you adversity to overcome. Therefore, you got strength. It didn't just give you instant muscles while you were sleeping. It doesn't work that way. Okay. People pray for money and then a job opportunity opens up. Oh, I don't want the job. I just wanted money to fall in my lap. No, you prayed for money and you got a job opportunity. That's how it works. It's another opportunity to serve others, to serve the Lord, to do unto others as you would have them done unto you. Imagine if the sins that you did to somebody were done unto you for eternity. Well, you probably wouldn't want to do that to somebody. But if you gave them a nice gift and then that was done unto you for eternity, people showering gifts on you for eternity, oh, well, that sounds a lot better, doesn't it? So what you do unto others, you would want done unto you. So if you would like to receive a gift, then give a gift. If you like to get help, give help. Okay, if you want to get shot at, then shoot at other people. It's like it's not too tough to figure out. But I guess it is because we've had this influence, this evil influence that you were born into. Okay, I liken it to just really quick. Imagine a woman who was in prison for life. Okay, regardless of her crime, there's a woman in prison for life, and she gets pregnant and gives birth to a baby in prison. All right, now this baby has never seen the outside world. Okay, he grows up in the cell with his mother. Okay, that cell is the best house in the world because he's never seen anything else. The slop that they serve in the cafeteria is the best food ever because he's never had anything else. Okay, and then there's just so many factors that this baby grows up never, the view outside the window is the best view you've ever seen through the bars because you've never seen anything else. But then one day the mother passes away and the child is then released out into the public, and the first time out of being out of jail realizes, wait a second, I was born imprisoned and I've never seen freedom before. Well, that's kind of like how you guys are. You've been born into this paradigm that the media and the elites have put on you. Okay, and you're living in that paradigm, and now this is the real truth. This is the real way that things work, and you have to break away from that paradigm to see the truth. You have to be open-minded, and a lot of this UFO activity gets people open-minded to the fact that there's more than just walking around in a skin suit. Okay, the UFO activity actually leads into the spiritual realm awareness. Okay, so a lot of people are now looking up, they're pointing their cameras at the sky. I've told you guys several times, a lot of that activity is actually drawing your attention to the face that's in the clouds right behind said event. So UFO cruise cross here, everybody's videotaping the UFO, but they're missing the big face in the clouds right behind it. Okay, that's what a lot of this stuff is doing, is trying to draw your attention up to the clouds. Because in the Bible it says you'll see him coming in the clouds. Now, I heard somebody say the other day, I can't wait for the clouds to part and for Jesus to come hovering, floating down through the parted clouds. That's not what it says in the Bible. That's what Hollywood imagery did to you. It does not say the clouds will be parted. It says, when you see these things come to pass, look up. You will see me coming in the clouds. The cloud structure is making this face. This is me coming in the clouds. The crown signifies power and great glory. So when you see these things, look up. You'll see me coming in the clouds with power and great glory. And when you see that, you get caught up. It's fascinating. It's intriguing. It's like a good book or a good song. You get caught up in it. It takes you away from your situation for a little while. Okay, not lifted up into the air, into a spaceship, into a little dot, and then everybody else crashes. No, no, no. That's not what it says. It says, you will see me coming in the clouds. When you do, you will be caught up with me in the clouds, fascinated with me in the clouds, caught up with me in the clouds, where we meet in the air. Well, I can't come over to your house. So I'm stuck in a meat suit that's all shattered right now. And it's hard for me to come over to give you a hug, but I can in the air of cyberspace, huh? Anywhere on the world, I can reach my family in the air of cyberspace. So I meet my family in the air, where I have got a YouTube channel. I stream live at YouTube, that where I am, you may be also. When you become a disciple, you become a child of God. Okay? Do you want it? How bad do you want it? You got to keep fighting for it on a day by day basis. Okay? Just keep fighting, keep going forward, regardless of what the world tells you. You know better. You have a huge jump start on the rest of the world. Okay, they're going to have to find out how these tools work, how to implement them. And by then, it'll be too late. They won't have time to settle in. They won't have experience at overcoming things, where you guys do on a day-to-day, multiple times per day basis. And you're getting notches in your belt, and you're getting experience, and you're getting confidence. And you see from my perspective, you see that you're a child of God, a soldier in a spiritual warfare, and you guys are battling hard. Just keep fighting, okay? It's your willingness to keep going forward. That's why it says you'll be blessed if you make it to the end, because you will be. You will have grown, you will have strengthened, you will have all the tools you will need by the end, won't you? It just didn't happen the way Hollywood portrays. And who can trust Hollywood? Come on, who can trust the media, any of these guys anymore? It's been a question of who can you trust now, hasn't it? That's why it comes down to this. He told you, there's going to be a time when there's only one person you can trust. Okay? Give it a shot. Give it a try. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. When you implement these things in your life, it doesn't just fall into your lap. You have to implement them. But when you do, you find joy even in your circumstances. Your mistakes are gone. They become growing opportunities. So I've taken away all mistakes. I've erased every mistake and made it an opportunity. Yeah, pretty amazing stuff. When you implement it, you will see the miracles happen in your own life. Okay. And if it doesn't happen right away, just keep going. Sometimes it takes different speeds or different attempts for different people. So if it's not settled in yet and you're still working at this, keep working at it. Don't give up. Okay. Because the moment you do, you're going to slide into that pit of self-pity and depression, when you should have your chin up and happy that you're a contestant in the race. Everybody else is on the sidelines watching this marathon, and you're one of the runners with a number on your chest in the marathon. It doesn't matter what place you come in or what time your time is in the marathon. It's not about the performance. It's a fact that you are in the race. You took it on. You said, I'm going to be a marathon runner. So that's what you're doing, and everybody's cheering you on. There are a cloud of witnesses cheering you on. I've shown you all these different faces in the clouds before. That's your cloud of witnesses. See this little guy forming right here? That's the Jesus turning into lion face. But this little guy over here, this little smiley face here forming, that's a different character, whether cartoonish or biblical or whatever. They're characters in the clouds that are looking down from above, witnessing, aren't they? Here, let's get into some more of those really quick. Please, can we have that one more? Okay. Cloud of witnesses. They got eyes. right? No, it means that they can see. They're witnesses in the clouds. And they watch me, follow me, study me everywhere I go. UFOs, advanced races from the past, all kinds of wonderful stuff. Here's the Grinch. It was like this bulldog character right here when I went into the store. Come out of the store now, the Grinch is hovering, staring at me, smiling. And then I take a bunch of pictures. Grinch starts growing horns. And then all of a sudden starts morphing into a dragon. And by this image right here, you can see it looking more like the dragon. Right here is the Grinch, but you can see the change from the Grinch with horns, bing, 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 into the dragon. Okay, again, a cloud of witnesses. The witnesses are in the clouds. And they watch, follow, study everything I do, much like you guys do. You guys watch here at YouTube. You follow on Facebook, but here you follow on YouTube. You subscribe, you watch my show, so you follow, you watch, and you study just like all these entities are doing too. Okay. Those are all the individual photos of that mouse pulling up the eyelids, and then it turned into this wolf face. See the eye, the stripe going down the nose. Here's the tip of the nose, the ear coming out. Here's a wolf head right there. He is the wolf. All right, so cloud of witnesses really happening. If you look up, you'll see this activity going on. Well, and there's my face right there showing up next to the moon. This event actually took place while I was doing a reading. No kidding. This happened on February 29th, Leap Day. The night of Leap Day only happens once every 4 years, so very exclusive night, Leap Night, basically. While we were doing the spiritual reading, the people in this region of the country were outside looking at the moon, videotaping this while I was doing the reading with the book light half on my face like I was showing it there. So I hope you all enjoyed the show. Happy New Year. And don't take on the whole year in the first day. Okay? It's just another day. It's a happy new day. Just a new chapter in a new year. Okay? A little trick sometimes is not to take on too much. Don't, bite off and chew on the whole year. Just take it one day at a time. Because when you try to take on too much at once, it creates anxiety, and then you just get overwhelmed, and things just take this runaway course, and then you got to catch yourself and go, Lord, I'm doing it again. Take a few deep breaths, take a moment, say a few prayers. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. It's an AA one, but it's just a deep prayer when you use it sincerely. The sincerity level in your prayers is where it's at. If you're just saying it half-assed, well, keep saying it until it sinks in. Say it sincerely until it sinks in and it takes effect. Grant me the serenity to accept the things, places, people, events that I cannot change. You're accepting them. When you do, that kind of lightens the load. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Grant me the courage to change the things I can. Well, that would be you. You can change you. So grant me the courage to change myself and the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom comes with knowledge. You got knowledge. Use that to make wise choices. That's your wisdom. Wise choices to trust me and believe me. And then you will be granted that serenity to accept the fact that you cannot control what's coming at you in the next year, but you can change yourself. You can pull up your bootstraps and face it and keep going from glory to glory in your tribulation if you choose to. It's a better way. And pretty soon you get well versed at this. Nothing, it takes away all your fear. You'll actually embrace your pain because you know that each step that hurts, but you take another step and it hurts, and you take another step and it hurts, but you're still taking steps in this marathon. Even though it's painful, you are going from glory to glory. So even in your pain, you can still see the joy in it. Maybe not feel too good, but you can see the joy in it. So you're experiencing pain. Thank you, Father. Thank you, Lord, for the pain. It reminds me I'm still alive. I say a lot of that one too. Thank you, Lord, for the pain. It reminds me that still alive, I still got you, still conscious, still aware, got the Holy Spirit in you. You're living life rich and full, much richer and fuller than people are right now who are trying to escape their adversity. You're going to grow strong from your adversity. They're going to turn into a bunch of wimps and cry and all these tough guys that put on this bravado and macho stuff. That's going to change. They're not going to know what to do when a big old face in the sky spits lightning at them. But you won't have that problem. You'll look up and smile and go, "Hey, thank you, Lord. It reminds me I'm still alive." All right, that's it for tonight. I hope you guys have a good, happy new year. I'm going to be there with you every step of the way, too. Okay? So just keep going, moment by moment, day by day, step by step. Happy new step, happy new moment, happy new day, happy new year. Why? Because I love you. I told you I would be back. I am a man of my word. I am indeed back, and I am still to come. That means I got another show to do, so you'll see me again, all right? I love you all, miss you all, and until that next show, probably tomorrow night, you guys overcome the world tomorrow, moment by moment, step by step, day by day. Don't worry about that it went from 24 to 25. Let me worry about that, okay? You just keep going. Soldiers, just every day is a battle day, so go out there and take it on and get her done. And you will find the peace that, transcends your circumstances, and you will be transformed inside slowly but surely. I am transforming you. I love you all. I miss you all. Until my next show, I